I decided to try something new. Every Monday morning, I take 10, 15 minutes and I have a meeting with myself. Why do we consistently show up for other people, but we have a tendency to not show up for ourselves? Think about it. You're sitting at your job and an email comes through where your boss pops in, says, hey, we've got a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Now, the smart money would say that you're going to be at that meeting. Then why, when we tell ourselves, hey, tomorrow morning, we're going to work out at 6 a.m., why do we have a tendency to not do that? Smart money wouldn't take that bet. So let's talk about it. Now, when thinking about that analogy that I used, some people would comment, well, but that's my job. I get paid to be there. And I agree. That's the benefit of you going to that meeting, right? Is you get paid to be there. But I would also argue that aren't there great benefits to you showing up for yourself? Not only short term, but long term. So in the short term, you're just going to feel better about your day. It's going to give you a clearer mind. It's going to give you a stress reliever, right? And not only that, it's going to give you a quick shot of dopamine. Long term, you're just going to feel healthier. And even longer term, there's studies that show that exercise and working out prolongs your life or can give you extra years on your life. So there's benefits to that too. Now, the other comment that you get to that is, well, that's my job. That's my obligation to be there. I don't disagree. But don't we also have an obligation to show up for ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to do the things that we need to do for ourselves? Now, this is a concept that I've been studying heavily in my life to better understand the reason and the why. You see, it's one of my goals or one of my virtues in life is to be in service of others. However, how can I show up for other people fully if I can't show up for myself? It kind of goes along with the whole thought process that, hey, if I'm not happy, how can I make somebody else happy? You know, that energy that you bring, that you possess with yourself is what you project to other people. So even if you're not happy and you go hang out with somebody and you try to show them that you're happy or you try and fake it, they're going to know something's up, right? So we've got to show up for ourselves. We've got to take care of ourselves so that we can show up for other people. Now, again, this is something that I have been exploring in my own life, and I do this in a couple different ways. I do my mindset journal, and inside of that, there are things that I can do to show up for myself. Now, there's also things that I can do that I'm there to show up for other people and be in service of other people. But I make sure that I try to do some things for myself as well. When I do my visualization, there's a part in there when I actually sit down to have a weekly meeting with my assistant or with my editor or whatever it is. And I have that weekly meeting. So the other day I was thinking about this concept of showing up for ourselves. I got to thinking about my own job or my own business and all of the different weekly meetings and progress meetings. And we have a lot of meetings with clients, a lot of internal meetings. And I decided to try something new. Now, I don't know if it's going to work yet because I'm only a few weeks into it, but it's something that I'm going to try. And so we're going to give it a shot. And what I do is every Monday morning, I take 10, 15 minutes and I have a meeting with myself. I go over the task that I want to get done for that day. I look at all the things that I want to do. I review my goals, my mindset journal, and I just have a meeting with me. I show up for myself. So another reason that we have those meetings with clients and within our companies or our business or our place of work is so that everybody can be on the same page, right? So that we all can hold each other accountable. And so that's another thing that I'm doing with these meetings is using it so that I'm on the same page and I'm aligning my tasks with my goals. I'm also doing it to hold myself accountable, saying, hey, this is what you said you'd do this week. Did you do it? Did you get it done? Okay, you did or you didn't. Now, how do we move forward from that? What can we do? You know, kind of like a long-term look ahead, but then what are the things that we can do over the next week, every single day to help build towards that ultimate goal? But again, the question comes up, why do we consistently show up for other people, but have a tendency to not show up for ourselves? And that's something I'm still trying to understand. You see, I do believe that majority of us out there are people pleasers. We want to make people happy to a certain extent, right? But why do we put so much emphasis on making other people happy and less emphasis on making ourselves happy? Because like I had talked about earlier, you really can't make somebody else happy, or you can't please other people if you're not pleased with yourself. And it's not selfish to want to work on yourself. It is not. It's actually selfish to not work on yourself. Because only doing things for other people, that's not a sustainable model, in my opinion. You've got to be able to show up for yourself. You've got to be able to take care of yourself before you can fully take care of other people and do it for the long term. And then the more and more that you show up for yourself, the more and more you hold yourself accountable to those appointments, the better you'll start to feel about trusting yourself. Because that's a big part of this is if you don't show up for yourself, if you don't do the things that you're going to say you do, you lose trust in yourself. That's a challenging thing. I have definitely lost trust in myself at different times throughout my life because I'll tell myself, hey, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. And then I don't hold myself accountable to that. But think about that. If we don't hold ourselves accountable to that, what would that mean if you didn't do that in your job? What if you didn't show up in your job? You'd probably get fired or there would be consequences to that. So make sure that you're showing up for yourself. Don't fire yourself. You have the control to get better, to do better, to be better. So I challenge you to show up for yourself today. Tell yourself, hey, at such and such time, I'm going to do this. And then do it no matter what. Do it and get it done. And then continue to do that and build on that. And so my challenge today, as I'm rolling to the office, I challenge myself to show up to my executive meeting with myself. That's what I'm going to do. Hopefully this is helping somebody out. As always, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening to me this far and getting inside of my head. Is this something that you're going to challenge yourself with? And if so, let me know down in the comments what you are going to hold yourself accountable to. Well, how are you going to challenge yourself today to show up for you? Thanks again for being here. I appreciate you. And as always, make the day yours, make the day great. We'll catch you next time. See ya.